And as that is the end of this series, we've still got a bit of time for Cookie and Phil to give us your final report cards. So we're looking back and we're looking ahead. We've been looking back and we're now looking ahead. 2025, plenty more Test cricket to come for this England side. Who are you picking? Let's look ahead to the summer, maybe. Who are you picking for that?
Well, I think ultimately now for this side is this is their test. India at home, Australia away. All this built up, this growth under Ben Stokes and Brendan McCullum kind of leads, for me, for the next 10 games against India and Australia. So, who are we picking? So we had a meeting.
We've had a meeting. We've got the red wine out. Yes, and we've sat down and we've come up with Zach Crawley opening the batting. Ben Duckett, and then there are a couple of little sort of thoughts here. Jacob Bethell or Ollie Pope, who are you going to go for? Not quite sure. Joe Root, no, we'll come back to him. Joe Root, Harry Brook, Jamie Smith coming in at 6. I think he comes straight back in. Ben Stokes, Gus Atkinson, Bryden Cast or Chris Wokes for English conditions against India. I'm going to go slightly for Chris Wokes, averages 19 in England. Mark Wood and Shoaib Bashir. So there are a couple of little spots open there, but that looks a pretty decent side for me.
Yeah, so in our meeting,
yes,
after our third glass of red, after watching the highlights, Bethell goes at 3. He gets the first.
He stays.
Me, he gets the first shot at it.
Okay.
I think Ollie Pope. There's certain moments, certain times in careers where there's the sliding door moment. I actually think Jacob Bethell has earned the right to carry on playing. That's certainly not the end of Ollie Pope there. Actually, he kept unbelievably well in this series, and he's part of the leadership group, so that's fine. But for Zimbabwe and for India, for that first game, Bethell gets the first go at it. We need Warwickshire to play ball a bit here. We need him batting in the top order in number 3 for Warwickshire. So, they're going to have to feel. I know Tom Latham's gone there for this year as captain. I think as captain, or so maybe not as captain, as overseas player. So he'll fit somewhere. He might have to be the one who moves. And Sam Hain, another guy who's been touted a bit of an England player, has got a great county record. He might have to bat at 4, and maybe Tom Latham at 5 if that can. So Bethell goes first for me. The reason I went for Chris Wokes after Cast is
the slash is you're choosing Cast, you're choosing Wokes.
There's the little options. They're the options.
We're thinking everything else.
The discussion points.
So Smith definitely comes back for me, and then we're going Wokes to start with. What we do know is with now Cast is thereabouts. There's injuries or whatever, because the only other person on there we didn't mention is Jofra. Because Jofra's had a fairly injury-free run now in white ball cricket, and there's been this talk about him trying to get back into red ball cricket. So I think you might add him into that squad, and we do know you do need a rotation system in place. But I'm going for the first Test match at Lords, or wherever it is. He's not even at Lords. Wokesy plays, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah.
OK, you're comfortable with that, then?
No, absolutely. I mean, he's got such a good record, Chris Wokes. And did his bit there. I mean, just because he wasn't sort of playing it.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. That first morning session on the third Test match, Chris Wokes might have got the ball rolling, what I mean, with that little bit of experience.
That's why you've got to get picked every time, isn't it? That's why you've got to be in there saying, I'm not being rested for the last Test. What are you doing to me?
Well, absolutely. And he's got such a good record in England. I think being a perfect kind of bowler for India. Well, I know we keep throwing it forward to Australia. After that, perhaps you think about Cast playing the first Test match in Australia. So different kinds of bowlers. I'm Ollie Pope. I feel sorry for Ollie Pope. But Bethell, I'm afraid he might have just gone above him. And of course Smith. Smith comes back with the gloves. I think that's pretty much nailed on.
Very, very quickly.
Don't say could Smith bat 3.
No. Well, could he bat 3? Could Bethell open for Zach? So we never got there. We don't have time. Sorry, Tuffy.
We know the coaches. We know the coaches have already come out and said he's going to be there. He's going to be playing in Australia, and we don't have any time. People are telling me, please stop talking. We've got to finish the show off. But even though we could, of course, sit here and talk about this all day,